drill, there's a few things you need to know about them. There are speeds on top. 1 is going to be your slow speed, 2 is going to be your fast. On top here you have a clutch setting. If you're driving screws, this is where you want to be. It's a little screw head, and that's going to give it full torque. When you change your clutch settings, that's for driving screws to different depths. On your drill, here you're going to have a forward and reverse. So you just push it in and out, it goes side to side. Here, on your trigger, it's what's called a pressure switch. So if I squeeze it a little bit, I'll drive nice and slow. If I squeeze it a lot, it'll go fast. You have to be careful with that, because when you're changing your bits, if you just squeeze the trigger, you're going to be at full speed. With 2 different kinds of things you're normally going to use in the drill. You're going to use a driver bit, which has a hex shank on it, and you're going to use a drill bit, which has a round shank on it. When we're installing them, what you have to do, I like to put my drill in slow speed. I like to put the drill in reverse, and then I'm just going to hold onto the chuck here and very slowly bring it out. What that does is it opens up the chuck inside so I can put a different size bit in. I'm going to hold it just gently underneath so it doesn't fall out when I'm changing it. I'll put the drill into forward and very slowly I'll bring it up. When the chuck grabs on, my bit's there, and what I want to do is just hold on top of the drill, and I want to turn that just a little bit more. You can hear it tightening up, and then you're good to go. To get it out, I'm going to put it in reverse, hold on to the chuck, and very slowly squeeze it. The bit will pop out. I'm just getting ready. I want to use the drill, and I'm going to be drilling holes, not driving screws. So I've got a 3/8 drill bit installed here. I'm ready to go. I'm going to put some holes, 4 holes in here, because that's where I want them. If you have a screw like this, what you can do, just go right in the corner, and all I want to do here is put a little tap, and what that does is it's going to give my drill bit a place to start. So I've lined up where my holes are going to go. Really important when you're working on anything is you're going to have it clamped, but I have to make sure that where I'm drilling through is not going to go into the cable underneath. I know your teacher would not be happy with that. Here, I'm going to use 2 clamps to secure my work so it's as safe as possible. And what I've got now, I can check and make sure there's nothing underneath me. I'm going to take my drill, and what I want to do, it does have a little point on it. I want to line that up to the spot that I made. And I'm going to start slowly. I'm going to make sure my drill is straight this way and this way. If you need a friend to look for you, just make sure you're going straight down. Very slowly I'll start. And then I can get the drill by squeezing the trigger to go faster. I want holes here as well. So very carefully, I'll turn my piece around. Again, making sure there's nothing underneath there, because I do not want to drill holes in my table, my workbench, or my sawhorses. So, we're clamped back in here. I line back up to that point that's in the center, go slowly. And then my holes are done. With your drill, we've changed it up for a driver rather than a drill bit, and there's a bunch of different things you can do to put pieces of wood together. This to me would be called bulking up or laminating pieces together, and the most important thing when you're doing this is checking and making sure that you have a screw that doesn't go all the way through both pieces of material. If I look at this one, it's just hitting on the bottom there. To me, that screw is too long. If I put it in just a little bit deep, it'll be poking out the other side and you could hurt somebody. Most important thing here is that you have to have it clamped exactly where you want it to be. So I'm going to make sure my edges here are snug and even. If I need a little tap with a hammer after the clamps are on, that's okay. I'm going to go like that. I'll get my second clamp on, and then I'll make sure before I put any screws in that this is positioned exactly where I want it. So before you guys do anything, always make sure that the bit you have is going to fit nicely with the screw. Right here I have a different driver. This should be a number 8, and when I put it into the head of the screw, it's got a good fit and it won't fall off. If it does this, you've got the right one. So I'll install this back in the drill carefully. Make sure my gloves are on for safety, and away I go. You want to stay at least 1.25 inches away from the edge. And when you're driving or using any tool, the most important thing is if both your hands are on top of the tool, there's no way that you're near any sharp part of the tool. So I'm just going to start here. I have this on my slow speed. I'm going to turn it to my driver function. Hands on top, hand on the pistol grip, very slowly. I'm just going to go in. And I want to sink my screw till it's nice and flush. We talked a little bit about the clutch feature. What I can do here, I'm gonna start maybe at a 9, and I wanna see what happens when I go to drive my second screw. I know I've got the right screw. I'm gonna go in the center here. I'm gonna start driving. Now, that went in a little too deep, so I'm gonna take my clutch and I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna start maybe even at a 6. What should happen is when the screw gets in just to the right depth, it should stop moving forward. I'm gonna go down even more. Now I'm at a 2. What you can hear there is the clutch engaged, and that's as deep as it's gonna drive the screw. That way you know it's never gonna go deeper than you want it to. So a lot of the times when you're working with bigger pieces, you're gonna have a friend hold the piece for you. And there's a bunch of things you need to do in order to keep them safe. First thing, obviously, we put on our mat. We can't be socially distant when you have someone hold the piece. We drill 3 holes. I'm gonna start here, and I wanna pre-start my screws, so it's really simple for my helper to hold everything as we put it together. If they have to hold the screws up and the piece, it's too difficult. What I'm trying to do here, I've got this piece clamped, and I wanna get this one lined up exactly like this, very carefully, and then I wanna put the screws in. But I can't hold that and have someone help me here. If I could clamp it, I would, but sometimes you just need a person. So call your friend in and get to work. I like to use something that's straight to get it even, and I know I want to go in this way. So you can see hands here are at least 6 inches away. I like to just make a fist, and if you're a fist away, I know you're going to be safe. I set it in here, I make sure it's engaged positively, and very slowly, I'm going to drive it in. Don't squeeze the trigger so it goes as fast as it can. And I just want to go till it's flush. I'm going to check it and make sure it's where I want it before I go and add my other screws. Your helper's going to help you until the job is complete. And you're going to tell them when it's safe for them to let go. So I'm happy with that. Go ahead. Perfect. One of the other things you can do when you're drilling is putting pieces together up on edge. This is really common in carpentry trade. If you've ever seen anyone building a wall. If I want to put these 2 pieces together, I'm going to be super close to the edge of the wood here, and what can happen, it's really easy if you just drive a screw in there for it to split. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pre-drill and make sure we have a spot for that screw to go into before we do any drilling. I like to put a line right down here. I'm going to pre-draw where my screws are going to go. I want to be about 1.25 inches away from each side. I'm going to put one more in the center. What I want here is a drill bit that's almost the size of the shank. So when I hold those up, I should still be able to see the threads of the screw in behind. Then I know it's going to hold. I'll get my bit installed. Make sure I've got my gloves on for safety. And we're almost ready to go. I'm going to carefully clamp this down to the bench. I'm going to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And what I want to do here, before I put the screws in, is pre-drill. I'm going to put it on fast speed because I've got a small drill bit. And as you're drilling, you want to bring the drill bit up a little bit to get rid of all those chips. If you don't, the bit can get really, really hot and it gums up with sawdust and sap. So I'll go down, bring it up, down, bring it up, and I'll feel when it's gone all the way through. I've pre-drilled 3 holes, and now I know when I put my screw in, it's not going to split the side of the wood.